In your daily life, you're living, eating food, and getting the basic needs you want, but have you ever thought about how your country is making it possible for you to have anything you want at your doorsteps? That happens through the export and import of different goods among the countries of our world. Due to geographic reasons, we are not blessed with the same resources worldwide. Similarly, the production of products is also distinct depending on the region. There is no country that is rich in all types of natural resources, as our production and manufacturing process largely depends on the availability of resources and raw materials. To continue the process of manufacturing, one country depends on another. Each country has some specific resources, products, and foods that they produce or cultivate more than their necessity, and they sell the extra portion to the countries that are in need of these. The reason and needs for export-import is a very simple concept that we all understand, but how forex reserve is related to this? How does even the export-import process happen through the forex reserve? Let's get into the video to find the answers. The idea of forex reserve. Foreign exchange reserve is the number of assets held by a country's central bank. Such assets can be marketable securities, monetary gold, bonds, treasury bills, etc. Over the years, the dominance of the US dollar and the supremacy of it have implemented a system that influenced, as well as imposed on many countries to exchange money in dollars while making an export-import deal, and the countries also choose dollars because of some other benefits. The current world has more than 200 countries that have foreign exchange reserves in the currency of the United States. To create a forex reserve, the central banks of each country deposit the money in a bank of the United States. Whenever they deposit, the money gets converted into US dollars. In short, the process can be compared to our practice of depositing money for saving in a bank. We deposit money to the banks, and similarly, the central banks of a country deposit the money to the American banks for creating a reserve. A question may arise in your mind: why do the countries convert their currency to dollars to create a foreign exchange reserve? Benefits of foreign reserve in US dollars. The main reason behind this is the floating currency. Many countries around the world have a less stable economy, and the value of their currency keeps changing. In such cases, the investors of those countries find it risky to invest in importing and exporting groups by exchanging their currency. As an example, if you're from Pakistan and you want to import a shipment from Sri Lanka, because of the bad economic condition and low exchange value of their currency, the traders don't feel safe doing international transactions in these currencies. Because of this reason, the monetary policy of a country looks for a stable currency for trading purposes so that the value and worth of products and money can be kept safe. Moreover, in terms of economic crisis, a country can stay liquid through its foreign reserve in the US dollars. Another benefit that many countries get through their forex reserve is through converting the reserve into treasury bills and bonds. When you keep your money as a fixed deposit in a bank, you get a financial benefit after its maturity. The same thing happens for the countries when they invest the reserve in buying such treasury bills and bonds of the United States. Now that you have some clear ideas about foreign exchange reserve and their benefits, let's move into the process of export and import. The process of export and import through foreign exchange reserve. For understanding the concept, we have to think from the two perspectives of it. Suppose a Japanese trader needs some coal which is worth 1 million yen, and he communicates with a Russian coal distributing company to purchase it. From the two perspectives, there are three entities for each side. The first set of entities is the Japanese trader, a Japanese bank, and American Bank One, which holds Japanese reserves. Similarly, the Russian side has a trader, a Russian bank, and another American Bank Two that holds Russian reserves. The Japanese trader will request the Japanese bank to proceed with the transaction by depositing 1 million yen and ask them to pay the American Bank One an equivalent amount of 1 million yen in US dollars. Japanese bank will contact American Bank One to transact the money in American Account 2, which holds the Russian foreign exchange reserve. The American Bank 2 will send the money to the Russian bank in dollars, and the Russian bank will make a transaction by converting the deposited dollars into rubles. This is called SWIFT networking, and this way, despite having different currencies, each of the countries that have foreign exchange reserves in US dollars perform export and import activities among them. As you know already, there are more than 200 countries that have foreign exchange reserves in the banks of the United States. What benefits or power do endowed states get because of having such enormous amounts of reserves in their bank accounts? The power of the United States by having foreign exchange reserves. As the countries use their foreign exchange reserves for export and import, they always have an amount that is reserved. The amount can vary depending on countries and their export-import expenses. For example, if a country has 100 billion US dollars as foreign exchange reserve and they spend 20 billion US dollar for the purpose of import-related expenses, the country still has 80 billion US dollars left in the reserve. As you don't like to save money in the banks and prefer investing money for more benefits, the countries that have foreign exchange reserves in the US banks feel the same. I guess now you know what the other countries do. They buy treasury bills and bonds from the USA to get benefited after maturity. Through the reserves, US currency becomes the most used currency and the most powerful currency at the same time, and the process itself controls the stability of the US dollars. The United States use such reserve money for the development purpose of their country. Now you may get curious about the number of such reserves that a country can lend the USA. The amounts can make you wonder. As of July 2022, China alone has a foreign exchange reserve of 3,275.49 billion US dollars. Japan has a reserve of 1,311 billion US dollars. Can you imagine how big the amount is? China's reserve alone is even bigger than the entire GDP combined by Australia and Canada. The United States get a big opportunity through such reserve, and they use the money for their development purpose. It is one of the key reasons for the economic stability of the United States. Using the vast amount of money, they can easily develop their military, fund the countries that need loans, and support their economy. Not only this, but by doing so they get a dominating power to control the other countries. Is that all? No. The power of the United States is even bigger. Whenever any country disobeys its decisions or goes in a situation of intra-country conflict and war, they just freeze the foreign exchange reserve to stop the other country from doing export and import activities. In a practical world, such initiative by the US government can shatter the country's economy within just a day. After the recent invasion of Russia and Ukraine, the United States froze its 300 billion US dollars of reserve to cripple the economy of the country. Russia is one of the strongest economies in the world, and they could surpass the pressure through some other strategies to maintain the balance in their economy. But in the case of other countries with a developing economy, such action can be proven devastating. And that is why making their own currency powerful should be the ultimate goal of each country.